brought to you by Transactions, moving money around the world for centuries.
So if it only takes the government about 6 cents to make this dollar, why is it worth $1?
Because people believe it is.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's just a piece of paper.
Yeah, but with that piece of paper, I could buy a soda. You can't do that with just any piece of paper. It's definitely worth $1.
It's just paper. No, not that one. I meant this.
Hey, this is a note from your girlfriend to Kaylin, my favorite biz kid.
Okay. Can I have it back, please?
Would you like to make a transaction?
No, I just want it back.
Money moves. It moves in a series of transactions, but how does it move? Well, let's say you have $1 and you want to deposit it into your savings account. But where does it go after that? I'd like to deposit this in my savings account, please.
Sure.
I deposited my dollar into my savings account, so where did it go?
Basically, your dollar comes in, the teller puts it, as you see, in the teller drawer. Then it's collected with all the other $1 bills she gets from the day, and it's added together. And as soon as they have 100, there's a band put around it, so the hundreds are stacked in stacks of 100. And then those bills are taken from all the different tellers and put in the main vault in the bank. Then once all those dollars are collected, all the dollars go to the central vault of the bank and from all the branches in the system. Once the central vault's collected all the dollars, then those dollars are all taken down by an armored car, like we always keep money securely moving around, taken to the Federal Reserve, where they're all put into a pile of ones, of packages of ones, and you have a great big giant pile of money. Can you imagine how big that must be?
The value of something is determined by supply and demand. And when money moves between groups or individuals, it's called a transaction. You know, all this talk about supply and demand is making me thirsty. I know.
Thank you. Cold lemonade, $1? Thank you. Cold lemonade, $1? Thanks. Thank you.
One cold lemonade, please.
We just ran out of cold lemonade. People have been wanting it a lot lately.
So you're out of cold lemonade.
Sorry, dude. We've got hot cocoa.
I bet the demand for that isn't very high today.
No one's really bought any yet, but I've got a lot of it.
Oh, I get it. All right. So the supply for your lemonade doesn't meet the demand, but the demand for your hot cocoa doesn't meet the supply.
I guess. I wonder. Cold chocolate milk?
Yeah, that sounds good. Thank you.
Money does travel around the world in a series of transactions. Pretty smart for a puppet.
Round and round and round, it's moving. Though they're disapproving, that's the circle. If money just sits there, it's not doing nothing. It's doing nothing, like this kid.
Huh?
Yeah, you, take a lap. See? Now he's looking like money in the economy. That's the circle of money. It's going between buyers and sellers, between employers and employees, between donors and donees. Now everybody run. Go, run. That looks like the economy. You see, those are all transactions. That gives money value. That's money in the economy. That's the way, whoa. Now that is a healthy economy.
Our economy only is strong if the cycle of money goes round and round. Round and round. Round and round. Round and round. Well, you get the point.
The amazing thing about money is that it's moving all the time in a big circle.
Speak for yourself. My money just goes away.
Well, it might seem like that sometimes, but you have a job, right?
Yeah, I work at a grocery store.
Okay, so businesses like your store provide goods and services that people pay for, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so your business needs to buy what it sells from other businesses.
Oh, so the money that people use to buy groceries, the store will use that money to restock and pay their employees, like me.
You got it. And when it pays employees like you...
I buy more groceries.
And that's what makes our economy go round. Money cycling between business and consumer.
So it's like money's a big cycle. It's a big round cycle through the economy. It's moving everywhere. Do you see what I'm talking about? It'll move from consumer to producer, back to consumer.
I think you got it.
Talking about it will go everywhere. It goes everywhere.
Global markets, giving the world the stuff it needs.
Chances are, like most kids, you have stuff from all over the world.
I know our car was made in Germany.
Yeah, but not just at home. You've got the world on you right now.
That shirt he's wearing, it came all the way from China.
The phone in his hand is from Finland.
His bottled water came all the way around the world from France.
And that video game is from
Japan.
Exactly. And kids in other countries are listening to our music, watching our movies, and flying in planes made right here in the U.S. Goods and services move around the country and the world every moment of every day.
Think globally, but act like a biz kid.
Imports and exports, the ebb and flow of goods and services around the world that creates the global economy. Its tentacles work their way into every nook and cranny of the earth. Let's watch.
Peru. Hello, my name's Hannah Jones, and I volunteer here at 10,000 Villages. This is one of my favorite artisans. His name is John Ogao Abuya, and he's from Kenya. And he makes these stone sculptures, and this is absolutely gorgeous. People like John they went to his village actually, and they found out that children there weren't going to school, and the reason was they had to help support their families. And so 10,000 Villages started working with people like John and selling their crafts. Because the adults in this village, like John, now have access to the global market, the children in the area can have the opportunity to just be normal children and live normal lives. This is a huge hammock I have here. This probably takes about a month to make, and it's extremely labor intensive. And we're only selling this in the United States here for $120, which is barely anything for people in the United States, but it's doing a huge amount of good for the woman who made this and her family. And so that's how global market is impacting the lives of people all around the world.
You know, when I think of a hamburger, I think of McDonald's Big Mac. One of the most globalized products in history. Its worldwide reach is so huge that Economist magazine has published the Big Mac Index for over 20 years to track inflation and purchasing power around the world. In America, it's $3. South Africa, 14 rand. In Paris, France, you'll shell out 2.5 euros. And down Mexico way, it's 29 pesos.
When talking about the global economy, you might ask, why do we have to import? We're a big country. Can't we make everything we need?
Like, oh my God, like, can't we? Quick answer, no. Virtually no country can produce everything it needs all by itself.
Well, if we import all those things, do we produce anything for the rest of the world?
We provide products and materials that other countries want.
These products and materials allow people in those countries to make things and have a better quality of life.
Import, export, import, export, import, export, import, export.
Importing and exporting in constant motion across the world.
He's global, global gorilla, global gorilla. Made in China, China. Import from Chile, Chile. Made in Italy, Italia. Export from Kansas, Kansas. He's a global gorilla, global gorilla. He's a global gorilla. Yeah, he's a global gorilla. That's right.
My name is Uriah Brown, and I own Baltic Board Company. Baltic Board Company? That's a skateboarding company that I started about 2 years ago, and I make longboards. I make and I sell skateboards online to people all over the world. Well, my business really depends on the global economy. For example, here a couple months back, there was a shortage of Baltic birch, and that's the main wood that I use for every one of my boards. There was no wood. You know, the supplies all got eaten up, and there was no more wood to replace, you know, what was already on the market.
So we brought this stuff in from Europe. It was actually brought from West Africa. So we brought it from there. They sliced it in Europe. We imported it, and we got it here about a year ago.
It does. It takes the whole world to make these things. This board is a great example of a global economy. It starts with the birches from northern Russia, and then the veneers from western Africa. Comes to me in Washington, and then I ship it off back to Europe. This truck here, this was probably milled in Germany, and then the wheels, they were probably made in Asia, but the rubber probably came from India. We bring it all together here in Washington.
Anytime you're in a different country with different money, you're always having to figure out what stuff costs. When you're on vacation, you need a lot of. You get about 7 Hong Kong dollars for every American dollar. It's a lot of math. Let me explain. I was very excited when my dad gave me $100.
Here you go.
Imagine my surprise when I figured out that this crisp, wonderful $100 bill was only worth $13 in America.
Hey, Austin.
What?
I was noticing how a lot of the things that we use today come from other countries. Like, my phone's from India.
Well, my MP3 player's from South Korea, so?
So why do we have all these things from other places?
That's a good question, Miriam.
Who said that?
I did. I'm here to tell you about the importance of imports. A commodity is any item that can be bought or sold. Imports are any commodity purchased from another country. Because some countries had resources that other countries needed, trade was established.
Okay, I can understand that, but what about electronic parts or automobiles, things that many countries can produce?
I think what the disembodied voice is trying to say is that today, with the globalized economy and all of these different countries trying to manufacture things, it really comes down to the manufacturing cost.
Precisely.
So, like, for example, with this phone, with all the different economies, in some countries it might be cheaper to produce this than in others. Like if the labor or the parts are cheaper there than in other places.
So in some countries that phone costs less to make than in others.
Exactly. And now, the Biz Kids take it to the streets to ask, are you part of the global economy?
Definitely, I'm part of the global economy.
I'm part of the global economy.
Everything I'm wearing is made all over the world.
From the beginning, the U.S. has had trade agreements with other countries. The main reason for this is that even with our huge productive economy, there's no way that we can efficiently produce everything that everybody in this country needs.
As a result, things that you and I use every day come from all over the place.
Stuff we buy from companies and organizations in other countries and we bring here to use are called imports.
We import hundreds of billions of dollars of stuff every year.
Not only do we import things that you and I might buy at the store, but we also import things for industry. Things like machines or equipment or materials, you know, like metal and oil that we can use to make things. It's like our country's shopping on a market that's global. It's...
The United States is one of the largest exporters of goods and materials in the world.
Companies and organizations in the U.S. sell or trade more than $1 trillion worth of stuff every year to virtually every country in the world.
Our main exports are things called durable goods. Things like
airplanes, heavy machinery,
telecommunication systems,
and computers. We also export industrial supplies, chemicals and raw materials, consumer goods, which is stuff you and I might buy, and agricultural products, which is the food we grow.
Sometimes stuff we export is made into things that we import again.
For example, we make a lot of the microchips and other electronic parts that go into the electronic things that we get from other countries.
Or another country might use the cotton or other fibers we produce to make the clothes we buy. So, do you think there's anything that we could export? So what is coffee? A quick buzz to get you going in the morning? A warm treat on a cold afternoon? A nice finish to a leisurely dinner?
There are many answers. Coffee is a drink enjoyed around the world, and in each cup, most of the world is present. How? Let me have a sip before we find out. Okay, now follow this. The coffee beans are picked in Costa Rica, put on a Japanese ship that's made from Korean steel and powered by oil from Arabia, then loaded onto American trucks that were assembled in Mexico with parts fabricated in Canada.
But that's just how the beans get here.
Then the beans are roasted on a machine invented in Germany but manufactured in America, then delivered to the coffee shop where it's steamed by a machine invented in Italy. What would you like with your coffee? Sugar?
Brazil or Haiti?
Cinnamon? Vietnam or Indonesia. Cocoa, Venezuela or Mexico. Vanilla, Tahiti or Madagascar. Cream, that's probably local, but keep in mind dairy cows did come from Switzerland. When sipping coffee, you've got the world in your hands.
An apple that's picked halfway in the world might be in your lunchbox next week.
And it might even be carried here on an airplane my mom helped build.
The global economy connects all of us all the way around the world. We buy products from other countries and benefit from the business it creates.
He's the global gorilla.
Talking Dog Detective.
Hello, Hufflepuffy.
I got an email from my friend on Dogbook. Said he was stuck in a foreign country, so I sent him money.
You can kiss your money goodbye, Hufflepuffy. That's a scam. Happens to a lot of unsuspecting dogs.
If it sounds too good to be true, it is.
Nobody wants to be scammed.
But every year it happens to thousands and thousands of people.
That's why you need to know what scams are.
And what to do if you get scammed. Scams can come in the form of unwanted phone calls.
Or emails.
Door-to-door solicitors.
And the internet, don't get me started.
Many scammers use similar tactics that should look like bright red flags when you see them.
Are you expected to pay up front?
Do they want you to give them your personal information?
Like birth dates?
Social security numbers?
Credit card accounts.
Do you feel like they're fast-talking you?
Or rushing you to make a decision?
Because if you do...
Slow down.
If it doesn't seem to make sense...
It's because it doesn't. It's a scam.
Don't be a tool.
It's a drag to get fooled.
Ah, I see you're looking through my favorite site, Craigslist.
Don't waste your time with that. Besides, don't you have homework to do?
Yeah, I'll get to that in a second. Look at this incredible deal. I've never seen this guitar for this cheap.
Right, musicians are crazy. You better act fast before he comes to his senses.
Now hold on, think this through.
No, if you do that, you're gonna lose this deal. Look, just give him your credit card number. He'll do the rest.
This deal is so good. I can't believe it.
Go, 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 go. Yeah.
Remember, if things look too good to be true, they probably are.
Yeah, you're right.
No!
I should get to my homework.
You know, I really wish you'd stop with this too good to be true line.
Touchy, aren't we? Ow!
Most scammers are doing something illegal when they scam. They're criminals.
And then there are scams that are completely legal. They happen all the time and no laws are broken.
Usually this involves selling you things that you don't even need.
Fast-talking salesmen often try to push extended, expensive warranties on products that already have a perfectly good warranty from the manufacturer.
Scam. And then there are the people that are trying to sell you all these fancy add-ons for your computers and your phones and things that you don't need.
Scam.
Purchases are emotional. Don't get alarmed into overbuying.
That would never happen to you because you're as smart as you are good looking.
I am?
Are you kidding? You could be a model.
I could.
Yeah, all you need are some professional headshots. This entire package is just 3 easy payments of $49.
Whoa! Oh, and Scam takes a beating. It's hit after...
Every year, hundreds of people are scammed into thinking that they're gonna be the next big model or superstar or singer, all for just a small price, a price that keeps growing and growing.
In reality, no reputable modeling agency or publisher is gonna ask you for money up front.
It's easy to be sucked into it because it's nice to get the attention, but remember this, if they're asking for money up front, it's a scam.
I'm Lauren, and I'm going to be a model. I'm Tiari, and I'm going to be an actor.
When I think about being a model, I dream of meeting a whole lot of different people.
The attention, I guess.
Having everybody know who you are.
We heard an advertisement calling for children to come in and audition.
My story started when my parents saw the ad on the computer, and so they were like, oh, this would be fun for her to do.
I went to the audition, and I tried out. I got called back.
They did tell us if you were going to be the one that got a call, you know, you were well on your way. There you go.
I felt really excited, like there was big things that were gonna happen.
It was relatively expensive, but it included a whole year's worth of classes.
Just basically how to walk, stride, how to act.
least it was $10,000.
We did pay about $6,000 for the program that we chose for Lauren. We did have to split that between 2 credit cards.
So I went to 2 classes, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we got an email, and it said that they closed the school and that we wouldn't be going anymore.
They had gone bankrupt. They were not going to be refunding any of our money.
I felt really confused, really hurt that somebody could do that. Not only does it hurt my feelings, but it started making me feel bad for all the other kids that got scammed too.
I learned that there's people out there who don't care about what other people think. They will do anything to get what they want. Don't get scammed, biz kids.
The perfect kid for my insidious new scam.
Oh, hey there, kids. Want to make some easy money?
Easy money? Doing what?
Magazine subscriptions. You travel to exotic locations and tell people you're raising money for your school. Of course, you're not raising money for your school. You're raising money for me. And then I give you a commission. It's just that simple. Just sign this contract and hop in the van.
Hold on a minute. This is a scam. You trick poor kids into believing they'll make lots of money and travel to fun places. You make it sound so fun.
But that contract lets you overcharge for the travel, the food, the rooms.
Then when they can't pay, you dump them with no money and no way to get home. What kind of deal's that?
I wouldn't do that. I'm just an honest...
A scam! It's a scam!
Oh, shut up, kid. I mean, there's no need to shout.
Hands up, sickie! That's him, or her, the ugly witch in the middle.
Here are some basic rules for protecting yourself from scams online.
Never open unrequested emails from strangers.
Especially if they have an attachment.
If you don't know,
don't click.
And keep your computer from being sick.
Scammers are smart.
Sometimes an email can look totally legitimate.
Like it's from your own financial institution.
They just have a few questions.
They want you to enter some personal information.
Like your birth date or account number.
Wrong.
Your financial institution would never ask you for that information.
Never give your personal information in an online transaction that you didn't initiate yourself.
Never.
And be careful with your social network sites.
Check your privacy setting.
And change your passwords often.
Remember how in this episode we've been telling you not to rush into purchases?
Well, if you've been scammed, you need to rush.
Immediately call and cancel your debit and credit cards.
Most financial institutions have 24-hour hotlines for scams, frauds, and theft. Tell them your last purchases and where you shopped.
Some damage may have been done, but by working quickly with your financial institutions, you can cut your losses to the scammers.
And in some cases, your account can be credited for the bogus charges, and you can get your money back.
Then you need to protect others by calling the authorities.
If this scam happened to you, chances are it's happening to a lot of people.
You need to help stop it as soon as possible.
Call your state's attorney general and the Federal Trade Commission.
They have special teams to monitor and stop scams, and they need your information to do it. Scammers will always be out there trying something new.
So be alert.
Be aware.
And act fast.
Be alert.
The key to financial self-defense is to identify threats. Now you, come help me demonstrate. You will defend yourself against the threat of scams, as represented by this opponent.
Master, my opponent didn't bow.
No, because a scam does not respect you. Now, pretend this seller is walking down the street and sees you and thinks you're an easy mark to buy something from him.
I only buy if I'm certain of the transaction and the seller.
Good, good. But the seller says you must pay up front. Want you to send money via a wire service.
That is not a safe and reliable means of exchanging money.
Excellent. But what if the transaction can only be completed if you provide your social security number and your bank account numbers?
I never freely provide that information.
Well done. But the seller's still coming for you. Won't leave you alone. What do you do then?
I am protected by the Federal Trade Commission, who enforce rules against scams, frauds, flim-flams, bamboozles, swindles, cons, chicanery, double dealing, hoaxes, identity theft. You want a piece of this?
No. I'm good. Well done. You learned. Good learner.
Your common sense lets you see a scam coming.
Never give your personal information to people who call or email you.
Keep a close eye on your social network sites.
Adjust your privacy settings and change your passwords regularly.
And take a long look at deals when they come along.
And don't forget to read the fine print.
If it looks too good to be true...
Dude, look at this email. I got it from Printer's Warehouse Lottery. I'm the grand prize winner.
Scam.
When making money is the aim, these kids, they bring their game. They're the Biz Kids.
Can you dig it?